Hey, good morning. This is Joe from Citrus County Porch Life coming to you today, March 8th, 2025. The wind is starting to blow up. It's blowing my papers all over the place. 2025, it's a Saturday. Each month as we go along in this study, we're moving from step to step. And before I begin the reading, so the third month is the third step. Each month is a different step. And I'm going to read the definition, what step 3 is. The short definition. There's a long one and a short one. And if you ever get the book 12 and 12, you'll see what the long one is and what the short one is. Usually the short ones I read at meetings. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives to the care of God as we understood Him. That's step 3. Okay. The word for today is turning it over. Every man and woman who has joined AA and intends to stick has, without realizing it, made a beginning on step 3. Isn't it true that in all matters touching alcohol, each of them has decided to turn his or her life over to the care of God, to the care, protection, and guidance of Alcoholics Anonymous? Any newcomer feels sure AA is the only safe harbor for the foundering vessel he has become. Now, if this is not turning one's will and life over to a newfound providence, then what is it? And this is daily reflection commentary. Hey, my fingers are working after that walk. Usually I have a real hard time turning pages. When I went to get my fingerprints for my nursing license, they did it about 20 times, and she says, "You're losing the ridges on my fingerprints." And of course, she throws in, it usually happens to elderly people. So they called the state. The state must have looked at them and they said, "Okay, yeah, we'll go with that because I can't change my fingerprints." So here's the commentary. Submission to God was the first step to my recovery. I believe our fellowship seeks a spirituality open to a new kinship with God. As I exert myself to follow the path of the steps, I sense a freedom that gives me the ability to think for myself. My addiction confined me without any release and hindered my ability to be released from my self-confinement. But AA assures me of the way to go forward. Mutual sharing, concern, and caring for others is our natural gift to each other, and mine is strengthened as my attitude towards God changes. I learned to submit to God's will in my life, to have self-respect, and to keep both of these attitudes by giving away what I receive. What a great quote. And it's so very true, at least in my case. Submission to God was my first step to recovery. As I'm always mentioned, I believed in God, but thought, He wouldn't have given me a brain if He didn't want me to use it. I'm not here to be a zombie. And I get what I thought was God's will, and then try to carry it out on my own, not asking for help, just plug away till I did it. And in a lot of cases, it worked. I studied math, and some of the things were really, really difficult, but I plugged away at it. I did every question I could possibly think of. I went to the library and got other books on math, went through all those problems, and eventually I was able to do certain things. In swimming, I was a little runt of a kid. When I started swimming, my dad brought me to the boys' club. Then eventually I joined and I made friends, and then we'd walk down to, and always swimming. And I became a good swimmer. I was able to get a college, first a high school scholarship to a very exclusive school, and then a college scholarship. Because my parents with 10 kids had no money to give me for school, absolutely none. But I really didn't involve God in all of that process. Definitely not when I was a kid. I didn't think of it. And I was an altar boy. I served at Mass. I learned Latin. I was a good Catholic boy. And then it speaks a sense of freedom, being released from my self-confinement. Well, my isolation was truly a self-imposed confinement. I never had any legal issues. I never was denied a license. I never got a ticket for DUI. But I was so afraid of those consequences that after I divided into the good times and the bad times. After the good times, and that doesn't mean that the bad times included bad legal issues, I just didn't want to risk it anymore because my drinking had really picked up, and I thought the worst possible consequence would be to really hurt someone or kill them and not even remember. Say I was driving in a blackout. That would be the worst possible thing, to take a life like that. So AA assures me of a way to go forward out of isolation with friends. I have made so many friends in AA. Even at meetings that weren't my own meeting, I'd go to a meeting, but I saw them at different meetings, and people would come up, "Hey, Joe, good to see you," and really great. Of course, in Rhode Island, my original state was Rhode Island. That's a very small state, only 50 miles long, so you don't have to go far to go from one end of the state to the other. It's not like Florida, where it's like 600 miles from Pensacola down to Key West. And I think I actually did my 15th anniversary down in Key West. I had a chance to go down there. March in New England is, you can still get blizzards. We had a blizzard in May one year. So I took a week and I went down there and celebrated my 15th anniversary. And it goes on to speak, mutual sharing, concern, and caring for others is our natural gift. And that's truly what AA is all about. Making sure we grow spiritually so that we can share that gift to the next sick and suffering alcoholic who walks through the door clueless like I was. Totally clueless. Looking at the signs and kind of getting ticked off. What does that mean? That's how I was. And it says here, strengthened as my attitude toward God changes. Because I started making that conscious contact that they speak of. Not just saying, yes, I'm a Christian, I believe in God, but actually asking for his help in sustaining my sobriety and growing spiritually through the steps. It took a while for me to get to that point. I'm not saying, I walked in and a big ray of light came on me and I was changed instantly. I was resistant at the beginnings meeting that I went to, but the guy that ran it most often had a way of explaining things that was absolutely perfect for my mind. And I don't know about anyone else, but he did it, and he got me going to the meeting because I wanted to hear his explanation of things. Very clear, concise, and of course it ends up with saying, by giving away what I receive. And that is kind of the whole program wrapped up in a sentence: give away what I receive, to help the sick and suffering alcoholic. And we only grow by giving away what we have, and that is definitely confirmed in the scriptures of the Christian faith. And so it's a wonderful, wonderful passage. And I'm so happy, boy, we went from step 7 through 12, and a new year started, and now we're deep in step 3. I can't believe how fast this time has gone by. And I love it. I love it. So God bless you all. Let me see. Have a safe and sober Saturday, and we will see you tomorrow. God bless.